this thing, or I used to have this thing, I'm trying to work on it. I used to have this thing where if things were not going my way, I would make them worse. Constantly thinking about what's wrong, constantly seeing the negative side of things instead of why this is happening and what can I do to fix it. I'm just, before I would just be this big negative ball. And what I really need to realize, or the realization that I came to lately, is that not every day is perfect, and you're gonna have your bad and you're gonna have your good days. You just gotta balance them out. And I wasn't doing that. So I have been trying my best to avoid negative thoughts, or just negative, or like the constant negative thinking of everything in my life, especially when it comes to my job. Before it would, like, the numbers would make me feel even more negative than I was already feeling, and I'm just trying my best to be as positive as possible. Obviously, like I said, not every day is a positive day, but instead of thinking or going towards the negative route, I'm more going towards, everything happens for a reason. That's one of my favorite sayings. And you have to take the bad with the good. And that is what I am doing these days, or trying to do, is, think more positive than negative. Because feeding those negative thoughts is just making things worse than what it already is. So what's the point of doing that? And I feel like the best thing that I could do for myself and for my well-being is to go towards the other route. Try to think more positive instead of thinking always the bad in certain situations. I'm human, you guys. I'm not perfect. In the past 2 years, I have spent a decent amount of money on skincare, because I do watch a lot of skincare videos. Skincare, hair care, and even though I'm a minimalist, there's certain things that I purchased I thought they were gonna change my hair and my skin. And we live and we learn. Even with me being a minimalist for so long, I still make mistakes with spending money that I don't really need to. So lately I have been avoiding that urge to go buy things just because it worked for somebody else when it came to, skincare or inner health, like vitamins and stuff. So instead of me purchasing that, I will do my research, talk to my doctor, go more that route, and, figure out, all right, do I really need that vitamin or that skincare item or that hair care item? For me now, I'm sitting on certain things, certain purchases, rather than just spending money on things that I don't necessarily need, and also spending money that I don't really have. So yeah, I'm not perfect, you guys. I do love to save. I do love to live with less, but there is certain things that, I do want to buy, and I did buy, such as the jade rollers, the gua sha little things, and they were such a waste of money. And I'm finally realizing that, their skincare routine and their hair care routine might work for them. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. And purchase one product at a time, and especially purchase a product or something that you want when that other thing is gone or broken. Don't replace items that already work for you with items that might not work for you. And that was my biggest ordeal. When it came to 2020 and 2021, I, was dabbling into the skincare and the hair care products a little bit too much. But yeah, I'm definitely avoiding the whole spending money on things that I do not need. You know the saying, don't cry over spilt milk? That is me. Same thing with negative thoughts. This goes hand in hand with negative thoughts. But I would stress so much when it came to the channel, with money, with everything with the channel a couple months ago, a year ago. And the stress definitely piled up, and it made me feel so much anxiety, you guys. Anxiety to the point where I would get a massive headache. I couldn't breathe. It felt like someone was choking me. I felt super sore under here. I literally felt sick. And I thought I was coming down with something until I woke up the next morning and I was fine. Then I realized those were anxiety symptoms, because I have talked to my doctor about this. And it's insane on how my job, or not even just my job, but the littlest things in my life can cause me so much stress. I realized that I don't need to be stressing over money all the time, or stressing over the views and the subscriber count all the time. And like I said before, things happen for a certain reason at a certain time in your life. So even though I'm not at 100,000 subscribers and I don't make like $2,000 or $3,000 a month, like everything will still be okay. And this is the path that I'm supposed to be on with my life. So it definitely helps me take a step back and think like, take a deep breath and realize, Kiara, stop looking at the numbers, stop stressing over the things that you really can't change. Just focus on the positive things in your life, because that's what's going to get you through the hardest months. So like I said in the beginning, don't cry over spilt milk. That has been my motto lately. I have been trying to see the more positive side of things and not stressing over the littlest things. If I only get to 1,000 views in a whole day with one video, instead of me stressing, thinking like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't do those videos anymore. Maybe I should do something else, something more popular to get more noticed. I shouldn't go towards that route of me like trying to fix the problem. I should go more towards the route of, all right, that video did all right. At least I got 1,000 views. At least other people are, saying that it's helpful, and I hope I'm making sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm definitely avoiding the stressful thinking, because feeling that anxiety pressure, especially around your neck, and feeling like you're like basically coming down with a sickness. That's how it feels to me. I know anxiety hits everybody else differently, but it's something that I don't want to feel every day when I wake up, and that's how I was feeling a couple months ago. I was, feeling very stressed out, and I'm super happy that I was able to talk to my doctor about it. But the best way that I found on how to deal with anxiety like that is to step away from something that's making you feel stressed out and just take a couple deep breaths, either take a nap, do what you really like, listen to music. For me, I've been taking a nap, taking deep breaths, and also coloring. I love to color. I know it might sound silly, especially with me being in my 30s, but I love coloring. I don't care what I'm coloring. It could be a Disney picture. It could be a picture of a bedroom or anything. I just love to color, and that's what really relaxes me. Put some music on, some relaxing music, and color. And that's kind of what helps me get rid of that stressful feeling. I came to the realization that I'm constantly on electronic devices, and I think it's mostly because, this is my job. So if I'm not on my laptop, then I'm on my phone. And if I'm not on my phone, then I am watching a movie on the projector. Like, I'm constantly focused on electronics, and I kind of want to step away and be more present in the real world. So I did talk to my boyfriend about this, and when it comes to like dinner time, we leave the phones away from us. We'll leave them in like the bedroom or something. And when it comes to nighttime, we go to bed around like 10:30 lately. We will leave our phones in the kitchen, or we'll leave them on my desk in case someone calls for emergency. You never know. So we will leave them on just in case of family emergencies, but we won't, like, our eyes won't be glued to them like how I was. I'll be laying in bed and it would be 10 o'clock, and before I know it, it's 1 in the morning, and I was playing a game for too long, watching silly things. My boyfriend's also guilty of this. He watches all the YouTube shorts and the little funny videos, and it's okay to watch all of that stuff and to be on your phone. You just have to have a cutoff point, and that's what I came to the realization that I wasn't having a cutoff point, and it was definitely messing up my sleep and messing up my eyes. Like, my eyes started to feel very, very tired. So for the past, I want to say a couple weeks, when it comes to my phone, I only give myself about a half hour of free play, screen time, no work, whether I want to just play my game, look up new songs. That's what I give myself. I don't want to be one of those people where I'm just addicted to my phone and constantly have it with me. I want to break free from that electronic obsession that a lot of people have nowadays. And again, I'm guilty of that too, especially with this being my job. So been, trying my best to put the phone way in the back, tuck the phone in the drawer, and just relax, lay down, and go to bed normally without the phone being like my little bedtime routine. I'm trying to get out of that habit. I don't want to waste my youthful age glued to these things. I know they're fun, but there is a life outside of these, and Like I said, I need a break. Having your own opinion is one thing, but pushing your opinion on others that aren't listening to you and or just arguing with random people is, to me, very, very, like, I want to say exhausting. For me, it's very exhausting and it's pointless. Like, everyone is capable of thinking the way that they want to think, living the way that they want to live. And I mean, the most argument I ever get into is with my sisters or my mom, because I don't really talk to anybody in the outside world. But there was a few times a couple of years ago I got into arguments with people at work, or my old crazy neighbor. I don't know if you guys remember me having problems with my neighbor back in like 2019, 2018. Yeah, fun times. But I think for me nowadays, with me getting older and stuff, silence speaks volume. And I mean, it's okay to stand up for yourself, especially if someone's talking down to you, but I feel for me is to be a little bit more professional with it, instead of like swearing at somebody or like having road rage, not wasting my time on arguing with others. It's just, to me, I've come to the realization that not only am I avoiding it, but I just find it pointless. Not just that, you guys, arguing causes me, again, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. And of course, I've been trying to avoid that feeling. And, you know, I felt that way for a very, very long time, and I don't want to go back to feeling like that. It doesn't mean that I won't stand up for myself, but so of course the old me, when it came to arguing, I would go a little ballistic, swear. Of course, when people cut you off, you flip them off, and it's just like, now I'm just like, maybe that person's maybe something happened to that person that they need to get somewhere fast. I try to give others the benefit of the doubt lately, and it's very different for me, because even though you guys see this nice, calm side of me, I do have a very not so nice side. I do take after my mom for that. But I'm working on it. I'm working on not arguing and letting people explain themselves on, why they're mad. It's better to listen to somebody rather than to preach at them or, argue with them. And this also goes hand in hand with the comment section. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there hasn't been any negative comments because I do delete them right away. Before, I would go back and forth with people and argue with them, and now, if there's a negative comment down below, I delete, block, move on. I rather spend my valuable time answering the comments, like, the nice comments, the positive ones, or like you guys have questions. I rather use my energy and use my time to answer those comments that are nice and positive and uplifting, rather than spending my energy and time on comments that are just negative and they're just trying to put me down. So like I said, I am done arguing with people. You guys will never ever see negative comments on my channel because I'm pretty fast at catching them. Like, delete them right away. And I honestly can't thank YouTube enough for creating that block button. Oh, it's a blessing in disguise, I swear. So those are the 5 things that I am avoiding these days. Let me know down below what you guys are avoiding. It doesn't have to be 5 things. It could be 1 thing. I would just like to know what you guys are avoiding these days. And I have never seen anybody do this kind of video before, so I thought it would be different to, just switch things up with the whole minimalist content. Maybe get more into mental health. 'Cause like I said, I have been dealing with anxiety, very high anxiety. And I think the best thing with that is to talk about it so people just don't feel alone. And it's kind of like how I was feeling, is alone, because on the online world, you tend to see the perfect side of everybody's life, and there's no such thing.